It's not your city. It's our city. It's every one of our city. London doesn't belong to you. It's our capital. It's our capital. Who do you even think he is?
Inside the heated exchange between Tommy Robinson and Sadiq Khan. Okay, buckle up for this one. Because what started as a quiet, off-camera moment turned into one of the most talked-about political exchanges of the week. Tommy Robinson and London Mayor Sadiq Khan. Two names that could not be more different, yet somehow always seem to orbit the same storm. And according to people who were there, what happened behind those doors wasn't just tense. It was explosive. So here's what we know. The two reportedly crossed paths at a small, private event linked to a public safety discussion, a gathering meant to include activists, community voices, and political figures. It wasn't supposed to be a showdown. It was meant to be civil. A meeting of minds about crime, speech, and public order in London. But when Tommy Robinson, known for his controversial activism and outspoken criticism of government policies, began questioning Khan's record, the mood shifted fast. Sources close to the room say Khan didn't flinch. He listened at first, calm, composed, but the tone sharpened when Robinson accused City Hall of turning a blind eye to issues everyday Londoners face. At that point, things reportedly got personal. One insider described it like this. It started polite, then turned into a clash of worlds. You could feel the tension from the hallway. Now, both men have long histories with controversy. Stephen Yaxley Lennon, also known as Tommy Robinson, has been one of the most divisive figures in modern British politics, seen by some as a whistleblower, by others as a provocateur. Sadiq Khan, meanwhile, has built his reputation as the steady hand at London's helm, a voice of diversity, inclusion, and balance amid an often volatile city. So when those two perspectives meet in the same space, it's not just a disagreement, it's ideology colliding head-on. Eyewitnesses say the exchange lasted only a few minutes, but the atmosphere was electric. Robinson, in his usual blunt tone, pressed Khan on what he called two-tier policing, suggesting that certain issues are handled differently depending on who's involved. Khan reportedly pushed back immediately, saying the accusation was nonsense and dangerous. He reminded everyone in the room that London's police operate independently and that rhetoric like that can erode public trust. That line, erode public trust, apparently hit a nerve. According to one person present, Robinson responded sharply, saying, "Trust was lost long ago, Mayor, you just don't hear it from the people who live it." That's when voices started to rise. The moderators quickly stepped in, urging calm, steering the discussion back to neutral ground. But make no mistake, by that point, the damage was done. Within hours, whispers of the confrontation began circulating on social media. Some framed it as Tommy confronting Khan. Others said, Khan stood his ground. Different camps, same event, completely opposite narratives. And that's the story of politics today, isn't it? Everyone sees the same facts through their own filters. A clip that reportedly caught part of the exchange, though brief and unclear, started trending under the hashtag #KhanVS.Robinson. It racked up thousands of comments within hours. One user wrote, "Say what you want about Tommy, at least he speaks directly to power." Another countered, "Khan doesn't owe extremists the time of day." It became less about the event, and more about what it symbolized, a snapshot of the wider division running through British politics right now. And that's the deeper story here. Because this wasn't just two men arguing over policy. It was a reflection of a country wrestling with identity, freedom, and fairness. Tommy Robinson represents a faction of Britain that feels ignored, silenced, and misunderstood. Sadiq Khan stands for a vision of a multicultural, modern city trying to move forward together. And when those two visions collide, the sparks tell us more about the nation than about either man. Now, the aftermath. Khan's office, when asked about the incident, declined to comment directly on what was said, but reiterated that the mayor meets with a wide range of individuals and groups, often with opposing views, and he remains committed to dialogue, not division. Robinson, on the other hand, hinted at the meeting during a recent live stream, saying he told the mayor exactly what people are thinking. Neither confirmed the finer details, but insiders maintain that what happened was real and that it left the room shaken. One attendee later remarked, "It's the kind of conversation that shows how far apart parts of Britain have drifted. Everyone's angry, but no one's listening." That quote stuck with me, because it cuts right to the heart of what we're watching play out in real time. And here's the irony. Both men, for all their differences, actually agree on one thing, that Britain's social fabric is under pressure. Where they disagree is on who's to blame and what to do about it. Khan calls for unity, community, and shared responsibility. Robinson calls for accountability, transparency, and a tougher stance on crime and cultural issues. Both are tapping into deep emotions, fear, pride, frustration that millions of people feel, whether they say it aloud or not. That's why their encounter matters. Because whether you support either of them or not, that 5-minute exchange summed up years of unresolved tension in British society. And here's the kicker. This wasn't televised, it wasn't scripted, it wasn't a campaign stunt. It was raw, real. A moment where two people, symbols of two opposing movements, finally said what so many on their sides have been wanting to say for years. And yet, when it was over, nothing was solved. No handshake, no breakthrough, no bridge built. Just two paths that crossed for a moment, then split again, heading in opposite directions. So the question is, what comes next? Will this spark more open debate, maybe even a willingness to confront these tensions honestly? Or are we doomed to keep shouting across the same divide, hoping the other side finally listens? Because if this moment proved anything, it's that Britain's political conversation is still one heartbeat away from boiling over. And sometimes, all it takes is a few words behind closed doors to remind us just how far apart we've really grown.